Hello, I'm Rita Rosenbach, and you are watching the live multilingual parenting Q&A. I'll be answering questions that have been sent to us. We get many of them each week, and we are struggling to keep up with them. So I'm trying to answer as many as possible through these Q&As, the live ones. So I'm Rita Rosenbach. I am the founder of multilingualparenting.com, and I've also written the book Bringing Up a Bilingual Child. You can find information about this on my website, multilingualparenting.com. I have 4 questions pre-prepared, and yes, before I begin, I have to apologize for my voice. I've had a cold, and that was the reason I couldn't hold this Q&A last Thursday as planned, because I presume you're not that good at lip reading, because I wasn't able to pronounce much sound. So the first question today comes from Eva, and she's Polish, and she lives with her partner who is Portuguese. They live in the UK, and they use one parent, one language, which means Eva is speaking Polish and her partner is speaking Portuguese with their child. Their daughter is now about 8 months old. Together they speak English because neither of them can speak the other's language very well. This is a very normal situation in many multilingual families where English is the only common language. So therefore the child will also hear English as a third language when parents are using the one parent, one language. And this works. This is a okay setup. What normally happens is that a child grows up understanding English, but since Eva and the family live in the UK, the child will soon also learn English, so the child will grow up trilingual. Eva's concern is it good to speak our languages to her even if we won't understand each other? For her, it is fine. Speak your languages. You need to agree between the two of you that you are okay with the other person sometimes using language that you don't understand. So this is not about what's okay with your daughter, because she will be perfectly fine. She will be perfectly okay with you speaking Polish and her dad speaking Portuguese. She will find it a normal way. That's just how we speak in our family. So that's fine. So nothing to worry about there. It's just that agree between the two of you to always ask each other when there's something you don't understand, or if you feel that I'm a bit left out here now. So don't express your concerns. Don't kind of sit on it and just say, well, okay, that doesn't belong to me. That's none of my business. They don't want me to hear. They don't want me to know what they're speaking, because that's not the idea. The idea, language is about communication, and we shouldn't be shutting anyone out. So discuss this situation in advance and let the other person know when there's something that you are concerned and you feel that you would like to know, and that will work. Eva also asks, when is it a good idea to start teaching her English? I would leave English to the community, to the surroundings. Whenever she goes to nursery, you have 2 minority languages in the family. In a country that is predominantly English, and everything unless you find her a bilingual school or a school in one of your languages. She will go to an English school, and she will be inundated by English, and English will very quickly become her strongest language. Believe it or not, although you now might be concerned that her English won't be developed that quickly. It will. It takes on so quickly. So concentrate, you on Polish and Dad on Portuguese, and make sure those get a really good grounding, and bring in English at a later point, or with a nanny at some point, or in the nursery. So I wouldn't worry about those at the moment. Thank you for everyone attending. Please feel free to ask any questions in the comments. So the questions I will be answering tonight are from Eva, Anais, Ignacio and Katie. So if any of you are online now, please let me know so I can address you directly. The next question is from Anais, and I really do hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. She's got a daughter who is about 2.5 years old. She speaks French with her, and her daddy speaks English. So he's American. They are living in the US, I presume. And they're thinking of starting a nanny share, but the nanny only speaks Spanish, and her 2.5-year-old daughter doesn't know Spanish. And Anais asked, would it be a mistake to have her stay there? No. If it's a good place, the first thing I always say about nannies, nurseries, schools, first check that it's a good, safe place for your child, where with people you can trust, who use an approach that you approve of, and that all the basics are right. You check those first, and when those are fine and in place, then it's the turn to look at the language. In this case, she would be with a nanny who doesn't speak either of her languages. But if the nanny is a good one, she will be able to cope with your daughter, and your daughter will be fine with her. So it's more about the personality of the nanny, or there's one nanny, I presume. More about the personality. Discuss this with the nanny, and ask the nanny in advance, how will you react if you do not understand what my daughter wants to tell you, or if she needs something. So you get an idea about how the nanny reacts in a situation like that. So just make sure that you are comfortable with that. That the language of communication is Spanish is fine. If your daughter stays with the Spanish-speaking nanny long enough, she will pick up Spanish, and yes, she will be adding one more language to her already, too, French and English. You say that she will definitely be confused, but is it bad for her language skills? I wouldn't. Children don't get confused, adults get confused. Children take it as it comes. Right, okay, but she's already used to 2 languages in the family. She's already used to French and English and switching between them. It's nothing new to her. There is a third person speaking a third language. That's not confusing. Okay, she doesn't understand it, but she will try to communicate. I've just been lucky to spend a week with my grandson, and I noticed how he reacts to new languages, or languages that he's not that familiar with. He just tries to understand, tries to communicate, uses the languages he already knows, but he's not acting in any way or form confused. I have not seen a child confused because of languages. Adults, yes, because we overanalyze things. we think we should, oh, what could it mean? What is it? And we're not open-minded as children are, and ready to just go for it and use the little we know. And was that what kids do? They know a word, they use it, and then they smile, and they conquer the world that way. So no, she will not be confused. If you might start off with, if the nanny doesn't know any English at all, then you might give some cards or something. For example, when she wants to go to the bathroom, or if she's thirsty, like a picture of a bathroom and a picture of a glass of water or something like that, that she can use if there's something really important. But I'm sure you can work it out. It will be fine. And then the next question is from Ignacio. He's got twins who are now, they've already had their first birthday. And they are being brought up with, they live in the US, and they're being brought up with Spanish and English. Both Ignacio and his partner came to the US as children, so their native language is Spanish, but they are now both fluent in English. And as I understand it, especially Ignacio feels more fluent in Spanish than in English. In addition, so they have decided that Mom speaks English and he speaks Spanish with the twins. In addition, they do have the advantage of a grandma who takes care of the twins during the day, and she speaks 100% Spanish. So and he also speaks 100% Spanish. Mom speaks 50% English and 50% Spanish. All good so far. But then Ignacio goes on. I'll read how he expresses it. I am frustrated. I really am. I'm not happy with my use of Spanish, and I'm struggling to expand my vocabulary with the twins. I'm rusty in my Spanish and find that I'm repeating the same phrases with my kids. You see, I'm much more fluent in English and can express myself more freely and creatively. Would it be harmful if I switched to English now? Would it be harmful if I spoke to them 1 week in Spanish, 1 week in English? Should I just do English? Thank you. So that's what Ignacio's questions are. Language is about communication, about creating and maintaining relationships. If you feel that you speaking Spanish with your twin Ignacio, then you should reconsider the use of Spanish, because it shouldn't make you uncomfortable. You should feel that you can freely express yourself, and it's important that you can build on the relationship with your children. You can it's not harmful if you switch to English, and they have you already have English in the family. You can so it's not a new language to them. You can switch if you want. If you feel okay with it, you can speak 1 week in Spanish and the other one in English, next one in English. Yes, absolutely, you can do that. I have a friend and colleague, Maria Babin from trilingualmama.com, who does this, but with 2 weeks. She switches every 2 weeks between English and Spanish. Her recommendation was to use 2 weeks because 1 week was too difficult, because it takes some time to get into one language and switch from one language to another. But you will find out, by trying it out, you'll find out the best way to do it. If you go for the 1 or 2 weeks Spanish to 2 weeks English, you might also want to think about ways how you could make your own Spanish stronger. I have what I can do. I'll put a link to. I think I had a blog post. Yes, I do, where I write about how to improve your own language skills when you're speaking a language that you do not feel that strong about anymore. This is often the case just in situations like you, where you come somewhere as a small child and then the majority language has changed and you're mainly speaking the new language. So there are lots of ideas in there, but if you do have the time, reading books is a great way to maintain a language, your own language, and to learn new and different vocabulary. If you feel that you don't have that much time to read books, what you can do, you can have audiobooks. You can download audiobooks in Spanish and listen to them while you're doing something else, or listen to Spanish radio or anything like that, just to keep your own Spanish going. But it's fine to switch to English. You have the great advantage of grandma being the Spanish speaker in the house. So if you can maintain at least some Spanish, it would be good. But the main thing is that you can have a good relationship with your children. And the last question for today is from Katie. It's a short question, so I'll read it out. Hi, my husband and I are English speaking, and our kids were born and being brought up in Spain. However, the oldest is finding it hard at school speaking Spanish with a slight accent. Please, could you give me some advice, as some of his teachers and classmates don't understand why he has an accent if he has lived in the country all his life. You don't not mention how old your son is, because it depends on how you can explain this to depends on his age, on how you would approach this with his classmates. If he's what I would do first of all is to speak to the school about it, and if you would be fine with that, then I would suggest that you speak to the school and ask if you can come to the school and have a presentation about your family, about being bilingual, because your sons are bilingual. They speak both Spanish and English. Speak about the advantages of being bilingual, and mention about accents and how come it is possible to have an accent even if you're born in a country, because they have been mainly exposed to English. So that would be ideal if you could make that make the fact that being bilingual is something positive and something which is a great advantage, which opens doors, opens new avenues of experiences, and is extremely useful if you visit anywhere else. There's so many advantages. So have that or present the bilingualism as a big advantage, and accents are just one part of it. I speak with, I think I often say I probably speak with an accent in every single language I know at the moment, because I've been switching so many times, and my dominant language has changed from being Finnish to Swedish to German at one point, and to English. So accents are fine. I love the quote, respect anyone who speaks with an accent, because they probably speak one more language than you do. But Katie, speak to the teachers, present the advantages, and bring in, show them how the benefits of being bilingual. Hi, Paulina. Thank you for your question. You have been switching from English to Russian every day, as I felt that it was too long a break if we switch languages every week. What do you think about the daily switch system? Like I mentioned, I don't know if you listened earlier, Paulina. My friend Maria switches between two languages, and she does it every 2 weeks because she's got 4 children, and she found it too tiresome to switch even after a week, because it takes quite a lot just to get into the language. I mean, you can do 1 day at a time, but you say that you switched because you thought it was too long a break. I wouldn't say it's a too long a break. You do not mention if you're still online, Paulina. Can you let me know how old your children are, so I can address that part of it. It is possible. If you feel that it works for you, then why not? So as I understand it, you switch from 1 day to another. If that works for you, and you get into a routine, and you have a partner who's also in on it, or who understands both languages, then yes, you can do it. If your child is very young and hasn't learned to speak yet, then I might reconsider it perhaps, and then maybe do a longer stint instead of a shorter one. But I presume you're not online anymore, Paulina. Please do add a comment later on. I can then update you in a comment, and then with the age of your children or your child, and then we can continue the discussion through the comments. That was all for tonight. There will be other Q&A in about a week's time or so. So not this week, but next week, Thursday probably. But I will update you in posts in the Multilingual Parenting Facebook group, and on the Facebook page. I will also send you. There will also be information about it in the newsletter. If you haven't signed up for the newsletter yet, go to my website, multilingualparenting.com, and click on a button that says yes, sign me up, or something like that. I haven't put up any intrusive in your face pop-ups for the newsletter. I just hope that those who want to hear from me click on that button and sign up. Right, Paulina, hi, you're back. So, and the girl is 5, is trilingual. I did great, and the young one is 7. Right, okay, yeah. So you switch between Russian, Ukrainian, and you live in the US. We don't use English at home much. That's great. Yeah, perfect. I absolutely agree with that. Like I said, I would probably go with the 1 week at a time. It might feel at the moment like they might forget in between. I don't know why you felt it was too long a time. I think maybe a longer immersion would be better than a daily switch, but I'm not saying it won't work with a daily switch either, because there's no research done to these different approaches, and I know there are those who switch like even from the morning till evening, depending on who's at home. So, and it has worked. So So yes, if it works for you, then fine. Just be aware that at some point it might become quite tiresome for yourself as well. Okay. If you have any further question, Paulina, on that, like I said, just add a comment and I'll get back to it. I'm going offline now, and I'll see you all next week at some point. Thank you for listening. Bye.